Hi everyone, welcome to another yoga video. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm happy to see you. My name is Chelsea. I am a 200-hour certified yoga instructor and I've been teaching for a while. And I'm excited today because I'm going to lead you guys through a short core strengthening yoga flow. And so if you don't have two blocks, I would recommend getting two thick books that are relatively the same size. You're going to be having them underneath your hands, but I will be giving you modifications throughout in case you don't have any props at all. But anyways, we're going to get started in a comfortable seat on your mat. So join me here, whether it's in Sukhasana, easy seat, or some other variation. But just make yourself comfortable and plant your hands either facing down on your knees to feel more grounded, or you can turn your palms up towards the ceiling, inviting energy from above. And then just for a moment, think about pressing your sit bones down into your mat and lengthening up through your spinal muscles, up through the crown of your head. Sit up as tall as you can, and then gently sink, settling into the pose. So you don't want to slump over, but you just want to sink, allowing your shoulder blades to drop away from your ears. And if you'd like to, go ahead and close your eyes. Just relaxing the space between your eyebrows. Tuning into any sounds or smells that you hear or sense around you. And we're going to take 3 deep vagus breaths together. So when you're ready, go ahead and breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. We'll do 2 more times. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. 1 more deep breath in through your nose and exhale, sighing it out through your mouth. And then just bringing your lips together but parting your teeth and continuing to breathe in and out through your nose. And while we're here, I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. No matter how long you're on your mat for, it's always helpful to have a purpose. So maybe answer the question, why did you show up for yourself on your mat today? And let that be your intention. Go ahead and repeat it to yourself. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and float open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and your toes, and come forward into a tabletop position, stacking your wrists below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. And just for a moment, take the tops of your feet to your mat and sort of plant yourself here, feeling grounded and puffing up into the space between your shoulder blades. So not as exaggerated as you would in cat, but somewhere in between. You want to feel your hands resisting the floor and go ahead and grip your fingertips into your mat also. So your knuckles are planted, the tips of your fingers are planted, and the foot of your hand, the space between your thumb and your outer hand, are just pressing into the mat. And go ahead and breathe here for a couple of rounds of breath. Just feeling your upper body work to press the floor away, staying in your neutral spine. And then we'll go ahead and drop into a cat-cow. So on your inhale, lower your belly, lift your head and your chest, and lift your sit bones. And then exhale, push the floor away, rounding into the upper spine, letting the crown of your head drop toward your mat. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your head and your chest. And exhale, push the floor away as you round into your upper spine, let your head drop, relaxing your neck. 1 more time. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your head and your chest. And exhale, push the floor away as you round. Beautiful job. Coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to drop down onto our forearms. And see if you can plant your forearms down onto your mat and then step back with your right foot and your left, coming into a forearm plank. So just as we did with our hands on the floor, see if you can feel that same resistance as you round into the space between your shoulder blades and you're pressing down into your forearms. Palms are flat. And hold here, engaging your core. Draw your navel in toward your spine. And at the same time, can you lift your pelvic floor in and up? If you feel like your hips are heightened, go ahead and lower them down so your entire body is parallel with your mat. Give me one more breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lower down, coming into a sphinx pose, crawling your fingertips forward so that your elbows are slightly in front of your shoulders. Let the tops of your feet rest on your mat. And just breathe here, lengthening up through the crown of your head. If you feel any pinching in your low back, you can walk your forearms forward. I'm going to come back to where they were to start. And you want to think about lengthening your tailbone towards your heels just slightly, and you still want to keep a little bit of engagement in your core. So can you draw your navel in? Take one more breath here. And an exhale, and then curl your toes and lift up. Coming into a child's pose, bringing your knees as wide as your mat, big toe mounds come together. Drop your hips toward your heels and let the crown of your head reach forward as your forehead gently rests. And if you feel like you need a little bit more stretch in your upper body, you can go ahead and bring your palms together, back behind you, feeling a gentle stretch along the backs of your arms. I especially like this to open the space on the front side of my armpits because it tends to get a little bit tight there. And you might even feel this down your spine. That's okay. Just breathing. And if you feel any sharp pain come out of the pose or grab a prop, just notice the quality of your breath here before we get moving. Taking one more deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, if you have your hands lifted, go ahead and plant them on the floor and draw yourself forward into your forearm plank. Walk your right foot back and then your left, coming into your forearm plank here. And we're just going to do a little bit of protraction and retraction to really think about engaging through our shoulders for a later pose to come. So when you're ready, go ahead and exhale, drop your shoulders forward and down, and then inhale, press up and away. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up and away. Exhale, lower. Bring your navel in. Inhale, lift. Press the floor away. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press the floor up and away. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up and away. Hold. 1. Inhale. And exhale for 2. That's 3. Give me 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 4. Draw your navel in. Squeeze your glutes if you can. And 5. Go ahead and take your knees down. Sink your hips toward your heels. Coming into your child's pose. Just for a moment. Notice what muscles had to work there. We're going to channel this a little bit later. If you need something a little bit more restorative right now, bring your hands back by your heels. Just let everything sink towards the floor and prepare to work a little bit harder in a different orientation. So we are actually going to come into downward facing dog. So go ahead and bring your hands forward. Curl your toes, lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog, separating your feet so they're hip distance apart, and your hands are as wide as your shoulders. Now, if you feel uncomfortable in your downward facing dog, or you have any wrist pain, or you're feeling just that something's not right in this pose today, I invite you to drop your knees down and come into your forearm plank just like we did. And then you can work on your protraction, retraction. I'm gonna come up into downward facing dog. You can also, I just thought about this right now, you can also bring your blocks, if you are having wrist trouble, underneath your hands, just to give them a little bit more room, but it's up to you. We'll come back to these blocks later. Okay, so come into your downward facing dog. And instead of doing the protraction, retraction like we did in our forearm plank, we're actually just gonna come forward into full plank, pushing the floor away on your inhale. And then as you exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, push back. Inhale, come forward. And as you come forward, bring your navel in towards your spine, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, push back. Inhale, come forward into your high plank. Exhale, push back. 2 more. Inhale, come forward, drawing your pelvic floor in and up as you squeeze. Exhale, push back. Last one, make it count. Inhale, come forward, press the floor away, and exhale, push back. Pause here in your downward facing dog, or you can take another child's pose if you need a break. But we're gonna move into our next pose, or into our next core work. So when you're ready, we're gonna reach back with the left hand toward your outer right ankle, and then come forward into your downward facing dog. And then reach your right arm back towards your left outer calf and come forward with your right hand. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach your left arm back. Exhale, plant. Inhale, reach back with your right arm. Exhale, plant. Inhale, reach with your left arm. See if you can reach your calf and then come back. Exhale, reach back with your right arm. Squeeze your core. Come back. 2 more times. Inhale here. Exhale, plant your left hand. Inhale, take your right arm back. Exhale, plant. Up the ante a little here. On your inhale, come forward into your high plank. Exhale, press into your downward facing dog, reach back with your left hand. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into your plank. Exhale, reach back with your right arm. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Inhale, come back. Reach with your left arm and downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, push back. Reach with your right arm and then come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, push back. Reach with your left hand. Come back. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, push back. Right arm reaches. Right arm comes back. 2 more on each side. Come forward into your plank. Exhale, reach back with your left hand. Inhale, back to downward facing dog. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, reach back with your right hand. Come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, reach back with your left hand. This is our last one. Come forward into your plank. Squeeze everything you have. Exhale, come back. Right arm reaches. Right arm comes back. Okay, now you get a break. Knees down, toe mounts together. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Downward facing dog. Or I'm sorry, Balasana. You can come back to downward facing dog if you want to, or you can rest in your Balasana, just letting your breath come back to neutral. Just allowing your forehead to rest. Not for too long. Okay, walk your hands back towards your knees and then bring your knees together and sit off to one side. And now we're gonna come into the blocks. So we're gonna start without them, get a feel for what we're doing. And you wanna come forward towards the front of your mat. Knees hugging in, inner thighs hugging in, your feet are together and they're pressing down. And then you're gonna reach forward with your hands, reaching your fingertips towards the front of your room. And before we lower down, see if you can tuck your tailbone under, bring your navel in, and lift your pelvic floor in and up. Continue reaching forward. And then we're gonna lower down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Inhale, pause here. And then exhale, start to make your way back up. Come all the way up, lift through the crown of your head. Exhale, lower down. You can take a few breaths to get down. Pause here in a half hollow body, and then inhale, come all the way up. So you want to think about bringing your navel in towards your spine, lifting your pelvic floor, keeping all of your core muscles tight in there. Exhale, lower down. Keep your feet planted on the floor if you can. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Pause. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, lower down. Pause when you get to the bottom. And inhale, come all the way up. See if you can hold your hollow body shape as you do this. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come all the way up. Pause, give yourself a hug. Allow your forehead to rest toward your knees. Just giving yourself a breath or two. And then go ahead and grab your block. And we're actually going to place the block in between your knees. And this is going to work your inner thighs a little bit more than we did. And we're gonna come back down to the half hollow body that we were creating before. So keep your feet planted, and because you have the block in between your knees, your feet are gonna be separated just as wide as your block. Reach your hands forward when you're ready. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and then exhale. Tuck your tailbone under. Sink your sit bones forward, and draw your navel in and up as you lower down. Slowly lower, keep your feet planted on the floor, and pause. Give yourself a full breath here. And then on your next inhale, rise all the way up. If you're shaking, you're doing it right. Inhale and exhale. Roll your tailbone as you come down, slowly one vertebrae at a time. Pause here. Reach your fingertips towards your knees. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Are you hugging your core in? When you're ready, take your inhale, come all the way up. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So on your exhale, tuck your tailbone under, roll down. Keep your navel nice and tight. Inhale, come up. 2 more. Exhale, lower down. Pause. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, lower down. Pause. Can you hold for 2 more breaths? Bring your pelvic floor in and up. It helps, I promise. And on your inhale, come all the way up. Release the block. Give yourself a hug. Allow your forehead to rest. Thank your body for working so hard. Okay, come all the way up. And this time we're gonna work the hollow body shape with their block, but it's gonna be in between your hands. And then we'll almost be done, I promise. Okay, so we're going to take the half hollow body shape again, but this time we're gonna have our hands up overhead. So take your block, and it's gonna be long ways, it's gonna be horizontal, and your hands are going to be reaching up towards the ceiling and pressed firmly into both sides of your block. And once you have that, go ahead and shoot your arms up towards the ceiling, and you're already gonna feel like your core is having to work here. That's a good thing. Work with it. Bring your pelvic floor in and up. Squeeze your navel in towards your spine. Think about drawing your front ribs towards your navel as you create that hollow body shape. And then as you exhale, go ahead and lower down. Your arms are gonna come forward. Inhale, take your arms back by your ears. And then exhale, take your arms forward, come back up. So your block is gonna move with your arms. As you lower down, they're gonna come forward. And then you reach up towards your ears. And then it's gonna come forward and back up. I'm gonna move my microphone thing. Okay, now I can actually do it with you. Okay, so reach your arms up and then exhale. Roll your tailbone forward as you lower down. Keep your block above your head and then take it up. So your block is extending directly above the crown of your head. And then when you're ready, roll forward. Reach your block up towards the ceiling. Exhale, roll down. Hands come up overhead. Exhale, hands come forward and rise up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, arms up overhead. 2 more times. Inhale, draw your navel in. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, rise up. 2 more. Inhale, and exhale, roll down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, rise up. 1 more time. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Inhale, and then exhale, come up. Inhale, arms up overhead. Go ahead and release your block down by your mat. I don't think you'll need it anymore. And then go ahead and scoot your bum forward. Take your hands behind your thighs and just slowly lower all the way down. We're going to take a moment to stretch out. Take your arms up overhead. Allow your toes to point forward and give a little bit of an arch in your back, just bowing your front ribs up towards the ceiling. You can even close your eyes if you'd like to. And then go ahead and release. And what you're going to do is take your feet towards the right side of your mat, and you're also going to take your arms towards the right side of your mat. So you're creating a banana shape with your body. And then just allow your feet to flap out to the sides. You can even send your gaze towards your right shoulder and settling into Banana Asana. This is one of my favorite poses because it's like a side bend stretch, but you're on the floor. So if you have your face towards the right, you can just allow your hands to rest on the floor. Close your eyes. Notice how your breath just comes back to an equal in and out. Breathing into your side body. And come back to center, reach in both directions, and then we're going to take it over to the other side. So walk your feet towards the left, walk your hands and your upper body slightly to the left, and then let your feet flap out to the sides, let your arms rest. And this time you can turn your your face to the left. This time breathing into your right side body. Just thanking yourself for all the hard work that you've done today. Being proud of yourself. Core work is hard. When you're ready, come back to center, reaching in both directions. And then go ahead and swoop your arms around as you bring your knees in toward your chest. Just give a gentle rock from side to side. Massaging the muscles along your spine. And before we settle into a short Shavasana, go ahead and bring your feet up towards the ceiling, knees out as wide as your body, as wide as your body, and then reach your hands towards the outside of your feet, or if you're feeling a little bit more open and flexible, you can reach your hands inside, and then your fingers will come towards the outside of your feet, and enter Happy Baby. You can start by seeing if you can lengthen your tailbone down towards the floor, and at the same time slightly resisting your fingertips with your feet, and noticing how that changes the stretch from if you were to just be passive in the pose. And then release your tailbone and you can rock from side to side. then when you're ready, go ahead and hug your knees in one last time. Just bringing your arms to the front of your shins. Hug them in nice and tight. And then go ahead and release your feet down toward your mat, extending your feet out mat distance apart, letting your feet flop out to the sides, and turning your palms to face up towards the ceiling. Just noticing as your shoulder blades sink into your mat. Your entire back body should be relaxed now. And go ahead and float your eyelids closed. Relaxing the space between your eyebrows. And just settling into your final rest, allowing your body to absorb all of the good things you just did. Om. Guru Naraya, Guru Naraya, Guru Naraya, Guru Naraya, Guru Narayana, Narayana, Naraya, Guru Narayana, Narayana, Naraya. Begin to take a slightly deeper breath. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. And find any other movement that feels right for you in the last few moments that you spend on your back. And only when you're ready, go ahead and make your way over onto your right or left side, allowing your head to be supported in your palm. And just become aware of your body as it sinks back down into the ground for just a moment more. And with your eyes still closed, gently meet me here in a comfortable seated position with your palms together at heart center, and bow your head slightly to keep your practice humble. I invite you back to the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice this evening, this morning, or whatever time you're taking this class. And allow this intention to resonate with you and carry you through the rest of your day, night, or the week ahead. The light within me honors, lifts, and respects the light inside of you. I want to thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. And until next time, namaste.